Today, I shall be telling you what the law says on rape and other sexual offenses. You see, the first thing you need to know is that there is rape if you have sexual intercourse with a lady, a woman, without her consent. And her consent means yes. If it is not yes, then it is not yes, because no remains no. Once there is penile penetration, once you forcefully, fraudulently, or in any way without consent sleep with her, you have committed a rape. One thing you also need to understand is that the slightest penetration suffices. So you cannot say, it was just the tip, damn you. Just the tip. You will end up in prison, life imprisonment. That's what the law says. It doesn't matter whether you have not even poured, ejaculated, or anything. Slightest penetration is enough. Second thing you need to know is you cannot say she didn't scream or fight back. The fact that she didn't scream or fight back is not a defense. The fact that she didn't scream or fight back does not mean that she's consenting. The law is that even though a female has the right to resist by fighting back, and even though this may be highly relevant in showing lack of consent, nevertheless, the fact that she didn't scream or fight back does not constitute consent. Seek consent, ask for consent, and obtain consent. Consent is not qualified. Her no is no. Another thing you need to know is that if you should have sex with her while she was sleeping, you have raped her. This is because she was unconscious, and then there was no way she could have given consent. If a lady was drunk and you had sex, that is rape. If you go ahead and sleep with her when she's not in a right frame of mind, that is rape. The third thing you need to know is that if you should impersonate her husband, you have also raped her, because any consent that is obtained by impersonation is no consent, and it is rape. Another thing that the law says is that you can rape even a commercial sex worker, or who you would most likely derogatively call a common prostitute. Yes, she's a common prostitute, or whatever you call her, or she's a commercial sex worker. Yes, it doesn't mean that you can go ahead and have sex with her without her consent, because the law does not bring about discrimination or distinction between a commercial sex worker and any other lady. No lady, nobody is to be raped. So that is not an excuse. Also, yes, the law is that you cannot rape your wife. But then, if you should stay and do any other thing and force your wife, you may also be liable for sexual assault. Yes, you may not be liable for rape, but you will be liable for sexual assault. Also need to understand this, that even though you as a woman, you may not be able to commit rape, but let me burst your bubble. If you should stay in Abuja, you can commit rape. Also, even in other states that is different from Abuja, if you are not liable for rape because you are a woman, if you should collude with your man to rape another lady, then you will also be liable as principal in the second degree. Nobody is going to ask you to go home because a woman cannot be guilty of rape. No. Oh, they've told you that penetration is needed through the vagina for you to be guilty of rape, right? Is that why you forcefully want to have sex with her through her behind? Oh, you call it doggy. All right. Just know, if you live in Abuja, that amounts to rape, and it is life imprisonment. Even in Lagos, if you should do such a thing, you are liable for sexual assault with penetration, and that is also life imprisonment. Oh, what about if you should finger her without consent? In Abuja, it is rape. And in Lagos, it is sexual assault without penetration. And it means that in these circumstances, you will still go to jail for life imprisonment. If you should force a lady to give you head, it is rape in Abuja, life imprisonment. Life imprisonment also in Lagos. Or if you should force or insert anything into a vagina, it is rape. In Abuja, in Lagos, it is sexual assault without penetration. In both states, it is life imprisonment. Your girlfriend is not your wife. She is your girlfriend. And if you should have sex without consent, you are also guilty of rape, and you are going to spend the rest of your life in prison. If you should add anything to the drink of a lady in order to make her sleep and then you have sex with her, it is also rape. If you should sleep with a girl under 14 years and you stay in the north, you are also guilty, and it doesn't matter whether she gave you consent or not, as long as she is below 14 years. Oh, because she gave you consent yesterday, you think that you cannot have sex with her today without consent? No, you must seek consent every time, because even a woman that had sex with you yesterday you can also still be guilty of rape if you have sex with her later on without seeking and obtaining consent. It's not to just seek consent alone, you must also obtain consent. Oh, she gave you consent and you were at it, you were doing it, but she said she doesn't want, and you think you can continue because of the consent that she initially gave you. No, you are also guilty of rape if you should continue, because she can withdraw her consent. Consent can be withdrawn. You are not married, but you forced him to give you head. You are not married, but you as the lady then forced him to give you head, or you even give him head without his consent. If you stay in Abuja, that is rape, life imprisonment, despite the fact that you are a woman. These are some of the things that you need to know about rape. See, if you should attempt to commit rape and you are not successful, maybe you have not inserted your penis, it is an offense in Lagos State and you will serve 14 years in jail. What about those of you that like to touch someone sexually? That is sexual harassment. You touch someone sexually without consent, 3 years in jail. Maybe you're fondling her boobs without her consent, 3 years in jail, because that is an offense. What about those of you that like to talk about sex to a lady even when she has already made it clearly known to you that she's not interested in that kind of discussion and conversation, but you start talking about how big her boobs are, how much you fantasize about her, you start using lewd comments, and yet she keeps telling you that she doesn't like it, she doesn't want it. Remember, that is sexual harassment, and under the Lagos law you are liable for 3 years in jail. Oh, you asked her to sleep with you, you asked her to sleep with you or to give you head before you can give her that job. Just know that is sexual harassment under the Lagos law, and you will land in jail for 3 years. Or you requested sex for grades, right? It is a crime, and it's 3 years under the Lagos law. Or perhaps you didn't sleep with her, but then you forced her, you made her to sleep with another person against her will. It is also a crime, and that is 5 years if it is not about sex. But if it is that you made her to have sex with another person, you are also guilty, and then you will be liable and you will spend the rest of your life in jail. The Lagos law has said it, that a person would be deemed to have consented if the person agrees by choice and then has the freedom and capacity to make and communicate that choice. That is where there is consent. Must agree and then must have that freedom to make. Not that you intimidate the person, not that you try to scare the person, blackmail the person. In all these circumstances, no consent. No consent. In determining whether a person charged had reasonable grounds for believing that another person consented, the court takes into consideration different things, and the law of Lagos State said the court should also look at the steps that was taken by the defendant to ascertain whether the woman or girl consented. So even you, there is a duty on you to be sure, to take steps to know that she actually consented, and that is where you can say there is consent. See, if you adopt anyone, did I say adopt? If you should abduct anyone because you have the intention to sleep with a person, see, even if you have not slept with her, you have committed a crime. It's 7 years imprisonment. You go and kidnap someone because you want to sleep with a person, but before you were able to, you were caught. Then that is 7 years imprisonment. Or you go and pick a girl below 18 years with intent to have sex with her. Even if you have not had the sex with her, that act alone will give you 10 years. And it doesn't matter whether she gave you consent or not. Under the Child Rights Act, says that sex with a child is rape and it is imprisonment for life upon conviction. These are the laws that you need to get familiar with. My gender. The only cause of rape are rapists. There is only a single cause of rape, and they are the rapists. It doesn't matter how a lady dresses. Nothing has to do with the lady. See, there is nothing like, oh, she wore revealing clothes. Nothing like that. The only cause of rape are rapists. I am a guy and I love to wear clothes that reveal my body. It gives me confidence. I love it. I do not wear it because of anybody. And I wouldn't also like it that I am then assaulted because of, say, the way I dress. The way a lady dresses is not the cause of rape. So stop pushing that motion, stop putting that agenda. It is idiotic. Let us all join our hands together to wipe away these evildoers. It is not us against the ladies. It is humanity against the evildoers that are terrorizing, because it has now become an act of terrorism. Now you know the law. Now you know the law. Now go out there. Let us go and sensitize and educate our people. Let us also deconstruct some of these flawed notions. It is not a crime to be a woman. It is not a crime to be a lady. And there is nothing special in being a man. And there is nothing like a real man does not do this. No. It is only normal that a man does not assault a lady. You know the law. This is what the law says. Say no to rape. This is the time for you to speak out. This is not the time for you to keep quiet. We all need to speak out and fight these